In this episode, we've got honest to goodness breaking news as Poshmark is sold. What is up, Galaxians? Welcome to a special episode, 2 in 1 day edition of the Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. I went over a whole bunch of reselling news that posted earlier this morning, and then, wonder of wonders, there was a big announcement later today. This is from CNBC. South Korea's Naver to buy U.S. e-commerce site Poshmark for the low price of $1.2 billion. Huge deal. Naver will acquire Poshmark for $17.90 per share in an all-cash deal that will value the online retailer at roughly $1.2 billion. The company said on Monday, as you would expect, Poshmark shares popped in extended trading. The South Korean internet giant Naver is acquiring the U.S. e-tailer Poshmark for roughly $1.2 billion. The company's announced on Monday. Poshmark shares did jump as much as 14% in extended trading, though it still closed at $15.57, where Naver is paying $17.90 per share. So they are paying a premium for the company, which inspires a little bit of confidence that they at least believe that there is long-term value in the company. Naver operates a search engine e-commerce platform and other services in South Korea. I will be completely honest. Prior to this news breaking, I had never heard of this company. They said the deal will deepen Naver's reach in online retail while allowing Poshmark to enter international markets. So, as the headline said, how could this affect resellers? One way is by opening up potentially additional markets for you to sell and obviously for others to get into and participate. So this could be really good for Poshmark's long-term growth. The article notes, of course, that Poshmark is a popular online retail site that lets people shop from the closets of other users. They just went public not even 2 years ago, January of 2021, at a whopping $42 a share, hitting the market at a time when online shopping was surging due to the COVID-19 pandemic and investors were flocking to tech stocks. Since then, however, the stock has fallen sharply, tumbling alongside the rest of the tech industry. Naver and Poshmark said they expect the deal to generate significant revenue and cost synergies, which probably means combining functions from the two companies into one, which will result in potentially people losing their jobs at one or the other or both of those organizations. Obviously, time will tell on that. Includes the reacceleration of annual growth beyond 20% in the near term as ads improve monetization, investments grow overseas, and live commerce gets greater adoption. The deal adds to recent consolidation in the secondhand clothing market. Etsy had acquired Depop for $1.62 billion last year. We covered that on this show at some length. Depop obviously competes with Poshmark and other resale services like ThredUp. The company is going to host, both of those companies are going to host a conference call. It's probably over by the time you hear this podcast or watch this video. It was going to be Monday night at 9 o'clock to kind of go over all of the details. The CEO of Poshmark sent out a letter saying, last week, as we celebrated our 10th annual Posh Fest, I watched this phenomenal community come together to inspire and support one another, embrace new ideas, and build your businesses together. As I connected with many of you, I felt deeply energized and confident in our shared future. That's why I'm thrilled to share our next step as a business and what it means for you, the millions of Poshers who are the heart of this company. Today, we announced that Poshmark has entered into an agreement to be acquired by Naver, Korea's largest internet company. This is a tremendously exciting point in Poshmark's journey. I believe this step will provide us with more resources and the flexibility of being a private company, strengthen our ability to serve our sellers and shoppers with new technology and world-class search capabilities, accelerate our live selling efforts, and leverage Naver's significant resources and expertise to scale our community as it expands globally. So there's a couple of things there to note. He obviously talks about, again, the expansion globally. They want to grow beyond the current markets that they're in. this they view as an avenue to do that. And obviously Naver, for their part, views this as an opportunity to enter into other markets and other businesses as well. The other thing to note is that this is essentially a private purchase. So this company is, I assume Naver is probably publicly traded in South Korea, but Poshmark is going to be owned by that company and will not be publicly traded. It will be essentially a private company. The upside to that is that you will not have the outside pressure of shareholders wanting instant results. Now, I don't know anything about Naver. They may apply that pressure to Poshmark, but just solely from the business standpoint, they will be eliminating the pressure to try to get back to $42 a share, where the thing started, when they're only at 15 odd bucks a share. He goes on to say, our mission has always been to put people at the heart of commerce, empowering everyone to thrive. We envisioned a vibrant community equipped with leading edge technology that could share their style and create the largest network of shoppable closets across the world. By joining forces with Naver, we can build a more sustainable, more social future of shopping on a much bigger scale. So again, they feel like this is a huge growth opportunity for them and their business. Once the transaction closes, Poshmark shareholders will realize significant and immediate value. Poshmark will no longer trade on public markets. And for those of you who own Poshmark stock, you will receive $17.90 in cash per share. If you bought the IPO at 42 bucks and still have it, this is not good news for you. This is all bad. That is going to represent a significant loss to you. It's one of the dangers of dabbling in the stock market or making investments like that, especially in an IPO, which is overheated. I think a lot of people thought it was overheated at the time it was initially offered, and it is going to be probably for some investors a bit of a bloodbath. That's $24 a share loss. Ouch. We will continue to operate independently as a standalone subsidiary of Naver. So our current management team, brand, mission, values, and above all, our focus on our community will remain the same. What will change is our capacity to invest in the areas that will enable our community to thrive for the next decade and beyond. We will be holding a fireside chat for our community in the coming week to answer all of your questions. Stay tuned for an invitation to learn more about this exciting new chapter for Poshmark. The future of fashion is in your closet, and I believe that this future is brighter than ever. So there you go. If you are a Posher, you can let me know down in the comments, or you can, of course, email me. You're listening to the podcast at galaxycds@gmail.com, and let me know what you think of Poshmark having been sold, and if you think it will have any direct impact on you. My gut instinct is that probably, at least initially, it will not. You see these things happen all the time. When Etsy bought Depop, they kind of had said the same thing. Depop would continue to operate as an independent entity. And as time has worn on, they have gradually tried to consolidate things. And again, I don't sell on Depop, but I've read some people comment that Depop has changed. So you can let me know if you sell over there. What have you seen since Etsy gobbled up Depop? And what's your opinion of what might happen with this? The interesting thing would be that Naver does not appear to have at least in this market, a reselling type business. They do a lot of other things, and they do a lot of things in the Southeast Asia area. So this is going to be a new venture for both of them, I would assume. And again, this is just me, a guy in my basement talking, that they will probably, at least initially, leave Poshmark alone to do what they do best. And Poshmark can now do those things, as I mentioned, without the pressure of having to try to generate value for shareholders. Obviously, at some point, they're going to have to generate value for Naver, who now owns them. But you assume that there will be some synergies there, that they will be able to kind of link together to achieve growth simultaneously rather than at the expense of one another. So again, big news. Normally, I'm not trying to do 2 episodes in one day, but I thought this was really important and obviously really big breaking news. So Poshmark has been sold. Let me know. gosh, jump into the comments. Let me know what you think of all this. And as always, hey, it's time to sell, as Poshmark just did. Have a good night, guys. You have been listening to the Galaxy CDs Rocks and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you again next time.